Peace building is one of Restoration Burundi missions. Through the project, peace education in high schools, and the social integration of repatriated students in Burundi, which is funded by Mennonite Central Committee (MCC), Restoration Burundi is creating peace clubs in schools of Kirundo province. Kirundo lies in the north of Burundi and is bordered by Rwanda. After 2020 elections, the province has had a big number of returnees who had spent years in refugee camps in neighboring countries. To contribute to social integration, Restoration Burundi has been creating peace clubs in schools of Busoni and Bugabira municipalities. 4 peace clubs have been created so far at Rusaras and Marembo High Schools in Busoni Municipality, as well as Bugabira and the Young High Schools, both in Bugabira Municipality. Etienne is the author of the project.
Nous exécutons un projet de l'éducation à la paix dans les écoles secondaires et l'intégration sociale de la patrie au Burundi en partenariat financier avec Mennonite Central Committee, MCC en sigle. Ce projet est exécuté dans la province de Kirundo, spécialement dans les communes de Busoni et de Bugabira. Les rapatriés rencontrent beaucoup de problèmes après le rapatriement, surtout les problèmes liés à la pauvreté. Leurs maisons détruites, soit par le vent ou par d'autres changements climatiques, et la non-cohésion sociale, la non-cohabitation, parce que les conflits fonciers, les conflits sociaux, les conflits familiaux s'observent presque dans toute la communauté locale. Nous voulons faire de ces élèves alors des médiateurs et réconciliateurs communautaires qui vont faciliter la cohésion sociale, la résolution pacifique des conflits dans la communauté environnante et à l'école.
Peace clubs teach diverse topics such as active non-violence, trauma healing, protection of environment, servant leadership, and so many others to create a new generation of transformed youth who live in peace and harmony. The teachings by these peace clubs impact schools, students' families, and beyond. First of all, at school, the clubs combine repatriated students and the students' leaders of different groups, such as students' representatives, religious leaders, and the leaders of other groups and clubs. This makes easy the application of positive values acquired in the club. And finally, build a peaceful community. In schools where the clubs have been created, a big step has already been made to reach a peaceful community. Salvatore is the supervisor of the club Burundi My Country at Rusaras High School.
Gufasha wanashaka direction muri gestion y'amakonfli. Turashizeho muri club umugwi no kwitaho bahuza ugizwe n'abanyeshure bane, abahungu babiri n'abakobwa babiri. Ivyo twabigize mu ntumbero yo gushaka kugabanya amatati canke ibirego bishika kwa diregiteri.
This has had positive impact. Thanks to how skillful these mediators are, even other students at that school willfully choose this team as mediators when there are conflicts, instead of complaining to the school administration. Complaints which reach the school administration often meet harsh punishments, including learners' expulsion from the school. This mediation team has finally managed to solve all conflicts at the ground level as soon as they erupt, and averted conflicts fueling. No single case of conflict has reached the school administration so far. Donat is the headmaster of Rusaras High School in Busoni Municipality.
Mu mwaka dutanguye nta kaya conflit ndabona ishika muri direction.
Families Josephine used to be brutal and traumatized his little brothers, as he used to smack them very often without clear reason. Now, after these teachings, he has been completely transformed. Now, instead of hitting them, he often buys for them biscuits. His little brothers are blown away when they see this transformation, as he gives them advice instead of traumatizing them.
baza barajyana utwara ati none ati none mukuru wacu yabaye iki kasigaye atadukubita n'umuvyeyi tubana yito yavuga ati Joseph wewe kweli wewe wahinduye.
KTC is glad after having stepped into a heated familiar conflict using peacemaking skills she acquired in the club. When her brother died, leaving out a widow, severe conflicts erupted between her mother and the mother's daughter-in-law left by her son. Conflicts which were caused by strange behavior the widow adopted after the death of her husband. Conflicts which often involved other children, including courtesy on behalf of her mother. Conflict which pushed the widow to flee her house and went back to her parents, along with her children, after feeling threatened by her mother-in-law. After non-violence teachings by the Peace Club, Kaitasi finally decided to put into practice what she learned. She advised her mother and went to see her sister-in-law where she had fled to her parents in an attempt to de-escalate the tension. Fortunately, both finally decided to put end to their dispute, and the widow finally accepted to come back to her house. Claude, to put into practice what he learned in the Peace Club, he created an association where he lives with his neighbors. To help them discuss topics he learned in the Peace Club, especially peacemaking, human dignity, and so many others. An association which finally grew in Saving Credit Association. Claude said he received a new hat.
Iyo krebe twagiye tuhakurira urundi mutima mwiza tutari dusanzwe dufise no mu kibano barabizi ko ndafise n'abavyeyi banje baranshinga ntahe kabisa.
Aisha Kie is the mother of Claude. According to her teachings, Claude got in the club were helpful for her family. She says so as her son Claude managed to help her husband get rid of alcohol addiction.
Inyigisho zaramfashije cyane. Impamvu zafashije ni uko na se wiwe yaranywa n'inzoga akaburegwa akamera nabi ariko yamubwijije ururimi rumwe gusa kiraziheba ngo ndahevye n'inzoga n'ubu.
Not only does Claude impact his family, but also his neighbors, solving conflicts among them. This is one of many conflicts he solved.
Hari abantu bashaka kugwana baborewe mbese baborewe bafite ibintu mu rugo. Byarangiye ahubwo bamushimira ati urakoze wa muhungu kandi bayobewe n'ivyo ari byo bintu yavyigiye kandi ari mutonya.
A few miles away is Bugabira High School. Beatrice, after her mother was ill and finally gave up her life in 2015, she felt traumatized by separation with her mother and finally developed intense anger. Beatrice decided not talking anymore to other students who still have their parents. She rather decided to have conversations with only orphans like her. Moreover, for any conflict with her colleagues, she immediately broke friendship. After the teachings in the Peace Club, especially about trauma healing, she was totally transformed and finally she transformed her friend who had the same behavior as hers.
Ukuntu yari imeze basi ni nkuko nanje nari imeze nkuko wagirane niko sa n'umuntu yacaza kumbwira uwo muntu twageranye tukamutuka cyane tukanavana ariko ubu narabimukuyemo naramuhanuye.
According to Bugabira High School administration, the impact of the Peace Club goes beyond acquiring positive values to building students' resilience. No dropout among 60 students members of the club. Ezekiel is the director of teachings at Bugabira High School.
Twahejeje umwaka dufise abanyeshuri 312 twari twatanguranye ma 350. Numva yuko za environ de 39 babandoye. 39 rero hariho groupe irimwo abanyeshuri bashika 60 ntihabonekemwo umunyeshuri, umva yuko abo bantu haba hariho enatu.
Not only the above mentioned learners are impacting, but also many more are doing the same.
kandi wabahanuye ufate n'iwacu hariho nk'ababyeyi usanga batumvikana ukagenda hagati yabo ukabahanura nyine ukagenda neza rero icyo nuko nyine yatwigishije byinshi.
Moreover, as Kirundo is often affected by intense sun, to fight against dryness, the Peace Club of Luceras High School is also trying to plant fruit trees at the school as part of protection of environment, which is one of its missions, a project which still needs support. Apart from Kirundo province, Restoration Burundi is running peace clubs in 6 provinces of Burundi, including all schools of excellence of Burundi, in partnership with Great Lakes Outreach, UK, and the Mennonite Central Committee, MCC. Wherever the clubs have been created, impact is evident. However, much is still to do, as Restobu needs to create many more clubs, especially in schools which are in border municipalities, and support them in their peace initiatives in their communities. Moreover, Restobu is looking forward to assisting student members of the clubs who finish their studies to light the candle of peace in universities.